Speaking of Florida, a federal judge today handed down an 8 months prison term to the first traitorous little son of a bitch to be sentenced for the felony that he created in the Capitol breach on January 6th. He comes from Tampa, of course. His name is Paul Allard Hodgkins, 38. He pled guilty last month to one count of obstructing a joint session of Congress meeting to confirm the results of the 2020 presidential election. See, I call that treason. I mean, really, I would have put this son of a bitch in jail for 20 years. Now, according to the guidelines, the most he could have been sentenced to is 18 months. A federal judge does not have to go strictly by those guidelines. But anyway, this little prick was only sentenced to 8 months in prison. 8 months. This is the one who carried a red and white Trump 2020 flag into the well of the abandoned Senate, while some other of these prick son of a bitches, these little cowardly penis challenged little jerks, stood over the vacant vice president's chair. What a picture that was. These redneck scum standing there. Anyway, the district judge, Randolph Moss, M-O-S-S, when you hear what he had to say, I would have thought he would have given this little prick more than 8 months. But this is what the judge said, quote, "The symbolism of that act was unmistakable. He was staking a claim on the floor of the U.S. Senate, not with an American flag, but declaring his loyalty to a single individual over the nation. In that act, he captured the threat to democracy that we all witnessed that day." End quote. And then he added this. He said the Capitol riots caused damage far greater than the few hours delay in the tallying of the electoral votes. The judge said, quote, "It left a stain that will remain on our nation for decades. It means it will be harder for all of us to tell our children and grandchildren that democracy stands as an immutable foundation of our nation. It means we are all fearful of the next attack in a way we never were. And it makes us question whether our democracy is less secure than we believed just months ago. The harm was enormous and chilling." End quote. All right, Judge. I mean, no shit, man. I'm serious. Not that you'll ever hear what I've got to say, but what a crappy thing to sentence this little bastard to 8 months when you could have given him 18 after what you said here, a stain that will remain on our nation for decades. Now, the little dickless bastard who was sentenced today, in a statement before he was sentenced, showing his true colors of a little cowardly prick that he is, he said this, quote, "I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I am truly remorseful and regretful for my actions in our nation's capital on January 6th, the damage that my actions caused, and the way the country I love has been hurt." Oh, end quote. Little bastards, all of these scum. Now, prosecutors had asked for the 18-month prison term, and they said that there was a need to deter domestic terrorism. Special U.S. Attorney Mona Sedke said this before the sentencing, quote, "January 6th was genuinely an act of terrorism. The need to preserve respect for the law is really at its pinnacle in a crime like this," end quote. Let's imagine for one brief moment here if Paul Allard Hodgkins would have been a black man. You think he would have gotten 8 months? That's a shitty sentence. 8 months. You can get 8 months in prison or incarcerated for drunk and disorderly. These little rat bastards, these little traitors to the United States, all of them that were involved in that riot, these are scum. These are the kinds of Americans that need to be thrown out of the country. I'm serious. Sorry for the F word. These people just... Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.